Alright, now since, well, I got that other amplifier working, I thought, hey, let's try and get this one also nice and set up. Now, this one, it works just fine. We just have some major contact issues in the switches and the volume sliders, but that's not too much of a hassle to fix. Just gonna need a lot of this. I think I have to get some new stuff, but I hope that's enough for this amp. And yeah, there's a lot of dust in here. I've shown already, but I'm just gonna give a close-up of that. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Luckily, the previous owner didn't seem to be a smoker, so you can already tell, well, that's just gray dust. That's just fine. Cigarette smoke usually mixes with the dust, and you get this disgusting brown smoke that sticks to absolutely everything. So, well, the easiest way I can fix this at the moment is, yeah, vacuum cleaner and a brush. Thing is, yeah, I would use the compressor, but it's too late, and I have some very noise-sensitive neighbors, so yeah. Alright, that already is a whole lot better. So, well, still there's some dust in here, and I can't get out everything with the vacuum cleaner just because there's many places like down here or so where I just can't reach it. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go and get the compressor out for this when at the proper time or so. Yeah, now we just pretty much do all the regular stuff. Put some contact spray in absolutely every corner of this thing. I'll carefully put this in the back, so we also clean the two channels. Alright, so since this slider down in here, you can't really see it, but that one down there, it has got two channels. It has one on the top and one on the bottom. So it's a dual one. Let's see if we can turn it like this and you'll see more. Okay, there we go. We have some contacts down there and some contacts up here. So all of those need to be cleaned. And that's why I'm putting the unit this way up. I'm trying to get a big nice amount of contact cleaner in there, since this unit does really do need it. Alrighty. It already feels a lot better just by putting the contact cleaner in there. It doesn't stick as much. What it's pretty much doing, it's removing all the corrosion on the top of the layers and just moving all the dust and dirt out of the way. So we gotta go and continue this now on all the other sliders, the ones that are down here. And there's another one down here, that's one for the balance. So as I've already mentioned, this unit is actually for a friend of mine, and no, I'm not giving him this unit in particular, and not the other one, because this one is in worse condition, not at all. It's always fun for me to fix stuff, and I know I can get this thing fully working again. So yeah, since I have the other one finished, and I'm pretty much decided with that unit being mine, yeah, I just got this one. So why not fix it up all nice and tidy, and that will be his unit then. That simple. Alright, how do we get down to that switch in here? Ah, okay, that's easy. Well, you can just take the top off, so... Now the one for the inputs are a bit difficult to get at, but you can just take all of those off. Then remove the screws that holds the entire assembly in place. And then you can sit it down and clean all of those contacts too. Too easy. There we go, a lot more easier and more accessible now. Now these switches, as you can see, they can be opened. I wouldn't recommend ripping the entire top cover off, because otherwise all the contact and everything that's in here will jump out at you. So just put a screwdriver in the back, lift them up a bit, then get your contact cleaner. spray some in there. This one I'm gonna need a little bit more because it's a bigger switch. Close it up and then just start pressing it. And then I repeat the same procedure for all of the other ones. Now in this stereo it's really annoying that somebody who clearly didn't know what he was doing was trying to fix this or trying to clean it. I have no clue what they were doing, because somebody opened it up and there are the wrong screws everywhere, screws missing. It's really annoying. So yeah, it's not like there's a service manual for this thing that you can obtain easily, even back then in the 80s when this thing came out. Now this all may seem a bit repetitive, but that's actually how you fix these. And there are a lot of people who are way too lazy to do this and just pretty much throw the equipment out. Get something insulating, put that underneath the board, and then we can give this amp a small test. Alright, I've hooked up my speakers and an input source that's just hooked up to my Mac. Oh, we also have some contact issues down here, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just that the outside metal here has a bit dirt and dust on it, but I'm gonna clean those too. Oh, it's stopped now. Now it has made proper contact. So well, let's play some music. Mess a bit with the volume slider. Move the balance. Of course it's going to switch off on one side because I only have one speaker hooked up to it. But that already sounds a lot better. Let's swap inputs and see if that insane noise is still there. Nope. That was pretty much it. It's that easy. So well, pretty much for all the people who just say, oh, it's broken, it's not broken. It has contact issues. This thing has been standing around in a dusty location for 30 years. Of course it's going to have contact issues. And fixing that is pretty much the easiest part. You don't even have to disassemble the entire unit. Only had to do this. But on some other units, everything is on one board, a lot bigger. So yeah, this is just a more compact and smaller version of the other amp I got. So let's check the other output. Careful not to short the positive output of the ground in here, because that ground is the same as the entire case. Balance slider. No noise at all. Everything fixed. So yeah, it literally is that easy. It's the least amount of effort, and well, still a bit of cracking still going on, but I'm gonna have a look at that in a bit more detail. Yeah, something's still a bit loose. Yeah. Just to figure out what it is. Ah. Does it do that same noise without an input? Let's find out. Pull the input out. Yeah, it does. So that's contact issues. But yeah, it's just pretty much is going along, checking all the contacts, making sure there are no cold solder pads on here and everything. So yeah, this is not a difficult fix. It's super easy. Well, hello there. What is this? A bodge. That is weird. It's not in the other units, so why is this in here? And yeah, I'm not too sure if this bodge was actually made by Sony itself or somebody else did that. That is weird, and somebody had a terrible way of soldering this board. Wow, that is just awful. Yeah, somebody has tried to fix this unit. Something was broken. Whoa, okay, I see what was going on here. If you take a look at all the pads that have been resoldered again, we have the we have the rectifier, so that one definitely has failed somehow, or we had some loose pads. And yeah, that's some terrible soldering on those right there. Then we have the input-output relay and everything. Okay, this is getting a lot warmer than the other unit, that's weird. Up here, and also down there. Well, this is where the signal comes in before it gets amplified. And here is the protection relay, and somebody has... I don't know what the hell was going on there. It just looks horrible. Somebody has soldered this board way too cold. And yeah, tower soldering everywhere. Definitely gonna rework that. Some of the transistors also have been replaced in here. And yeah, it's another component down there. That is so weird. Huh, oh well. Yeah, seems like I will have to go ahead and resolder the entire board. Yeah, that's not a big of effort, it's just gonna take me like 10 minutes or so. Yeah, well, oh well. Didn't expect this. Weird. Still have to figure out where the noise is coming from when I have the amplifier switched on. Is it on? Oh, no, it's on. Pressing around the board a little bit. Or which board is it? I'm pretty sure it's the one on the back. I knew it. So definitely going to get the input and output board out and resolder that one as well. Since yeah, that's the one that makes these cracking noises. I can sometimes also get it to do this. Yeah, there we go, by hand. Does it do the same noise on some other channels? Let's have a listen. Yeah, it does. So there are some connection issues going on in here. Oh well, in the worst case scenario, you have to do the entire cable management new. But it doesn't see... Oh, it is. It is the cables. Seriously. What the hell? Just have to figure out which. There we are. Oh well. Let's have a look. Alright, so I found the issue and something else too. This amplifier gets crazy hot immediately, even if nothing is happening. This is getting really warm. That's not supposed to happen. The other one barely gets warm, and the other stereo, which has the same amplifier, doesn't either. That is weird, or somebody installed the wrong amp. I'll check the model number on that. And yeah, I found the issue. The issue is the ground plane on this board. Something isn't really working there. Yeah. I mean, we have this grounding wire here, but that clearly is not working. So, what's happening is we have 15 volts on the ground plane of this, which is also that noise you're hearing. But as soon as I connect that, everything goes back to normal. There even are some sparks, so something is really weird going on here and here. And I really, I'm thinking of what's going to happen if I actually move that bodge in there. See if this thing still gets as crazy hot as it does now. That is really not good. What the hell is going on in this thing? I mean, it's getting so warm I can barely touch it. Alright, so this brownish stuff in here is very mysterious to me, and I have no freaking clue what the hell it's in there. Turns out it's conductive. If I get my multimeter here, let's see if I can do that with one hand. And I've got some really cheap probes on this at the moment because I need those probes to solder them onto the board. Yeah. That stuff is conductive, and no, I'm not touching the board or anything. That's just this goo that somebody put on here. I have no clue what the hell that is. Is this like chewing gum or what the fuck is it? But it's really stiff and everything. Gonna try and get all of that stuff off. Hopefully that solves the issue why this thing is getting crazy hot. And what the hell is that capacitor for? Well, let's disconnect it and find out. Now you've got to see this to believe it. I have no freaking clue what kind of solder this is. This is horrible. I mean, I'm trying to heat up a pad here and that just works, but the solder it stays solid even though it gets warm. And then it's really sticky. See, it makes... I have my soldering on a higher temperature than I would actually need for this, but what the fuck is going on in here? Somebody... what the fuck? Well, it's not like this is happening to any of the other pads. If I go over here and heat that thing up, that works just fine. It heats up, cools down, done. So somebody must have used the absolute cheapest, most dirtiest imported craptacular solder that exists on this thing. No wonder those pads are all looking so bad. I have never seen something like this before, seriously. Okay, so this unit definitely has a grounding issue. I'm gonna leave that capacitor in there, and while removing this conductive gunk hasn't solved anything. But I found out that if I just connect the ground of that thing to anywhere of the entire case, if we can get a good contact at least. There we go, that annoying hum is gone. And this is just interference from the soldering iron, so yeah. Weird, but I still have not figured out why this amp gets so freaking hot. I mean, I can barely touch that. And trust me, this thing here has been on for about the same time, and the heatsink is still cold. So what the? Yeah, I have also cleaned up the board a bit. I checked some components in here. Could be that something is still blown or so, but I have no clue what it could be. Transformer doesn't get unusually hot, so that's good. But what the hell is going on with this thing? Well, I have to verify that with this unit there, because well, this is an original amplifier. There's a well, that you can swap it out with. I am not sure if that thing is actually original. It looks a bit different in terms of manufacturing. The corners are a lot sharper than the corners on here. These are all nicely rounded. But yeah, if this actually is the same with that unit, since both of these use the same amplifier, then that is normal, even though it's really weird. I mean, that is 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. That is a bit weird for the whole amp just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. And on this thing, well, of course the transformer is stone cold. Yeah. I can easily touch this thing. What the hell is this? I mean, it's not like there are any components missing or so. Oh, that's interesting. I just noticed something. Down there is a capacitor symbol. And for whatever reason, there is a resistor installed down there. And yeah, well, that grounding issue, I have no clue why Sony decided to do that. We have the screw directly soldered onto the board. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. It's even the same here. Weird. Huh. Well, let's see what happens if I take out that resistor down there, since this thing is not present in this unit. Even the other resistor beneath the a bridge rectifier isn't there, so... What? That is so weird and random. Why are these things present here? I believe this is an older model than that thing, because this thing does not have the Euro plug on it. It has some... Alright, as you can tell, I've removed those like that. And I really don't understand why there are some resistors there. This circuit board clearly shows a C. That stands for capacitor. It shows a capacitor symbol down there. There. So why are the resistors in there? Oh well, I've let this thing run for a bit, and well, it isn't. It seems it's not getting as hot as it did before, which is weird. But that could explain why those are missing in this unit. So yeah, I'm just pretty much gonna wait. Let this thing power off, because I've got to go shopping now, and yeah, let this thing cool down completely, power it back up again, and test that again. If it still gets that crazy hot, well, then that didn't solve anything, and if it doesn't, well, then those resistors will be removed from this unit completely, not just like the test version, just pull them out of the ports or the solder joints and done. I tell you what, these aren't actually resistors, I was wrong. The color code on it matches up with a resistor though, but the thing is, those things are capacitors, as you can tell. Now, I haven't looked up which capacity they are supposed to have, because the circuitry works perfectly fine without them, and the amplifier does not get warm at all. It stays cold, like it should do, so either one of those was bad. And since they are missing in the newer model, well, I'm just gonna remove them entirely and just leave it like it is. Because maybe that's exactly the reason why Sony decided, oh, we should maybe remove those. So the fact that they were resistors, I was wrong with that. Just haven't ever seen a capacitor in this package. But I've taken out the circuit board that holds the light bulbs, removed all of the light bulbs. Now, I don't know why, but even though all the light bulbs had this thing on them, they still showed up as very, very bright yellow. Weird. Oh well. Okay, so, well, one of the, of course, is missing, that's the green one. I'm gonna head to the store and get some green LEDs. So, yeah, let's have a look. You will see, oh, right, it's not switched on, that's the capacitor they're discharging. There we go, white. Now that's super bright white. These things usually are very, very intense. Then we have red, and we have blue. Now I have organized these in a different pattern than I did in the other stereo. Well, just because we get a different light depending on the stereo. It's a bit nice to have something random. And also that I have a possibility of actually distinguishing the units, since they do look pretty much identical. Oh yeah, not to forget, yeah, that's the way how Sony decided to ground the back amplifier. Yeah, they just soldered the screw directly to the ground, which goes there. That is literally how they did it. So, okay then, if they want to do it like that, well, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Even though I would never ever do something like this, it just looks stupid and yeah, makes it a bit more difficult to disassemble and reassemble the unit, because that's something you will definitely forget. Yeah, so pretty much what I've got to do now is build in that missing LED, and then reassemble everything. Other than that, everything on this thing is finished. Put some spare LEDs just in case one of those goes wrong. And the way I have solved the issue, because, well, that port delivers 12 volts and these LEDs can't get 12 volts, and you won't see a resistor on here. Well, the resistor is there in the cable directly. You can tell that something is there that doesn't belong there. Well, blue heat shrink tubing. Would preferably have used clear heat shrink tubing, but I didn't have any, and the store neither has any, so yeah, it's blue. I know that it is there, and someone who is probably intelligent enough will notice, there's something in there, maybe that is the dropper resistor. You know what, since this is a unit that I'm giving away to someone, I'm probably going to mark that with a small piece of paper or so. Glue that directly on the cable. And yeah, just inform that the 820 ohms resistors are installed here. Alright, there we go. The last LED is installed, and of course we have a very, very bright green now. Now you might say these are too bright. I mean, they look freaking bright on the camera. The red one isn't the brightest, but that works out just fine. It's bright enough for the application. Of course I could have gone for super bright, but yeah, that works out really, really well. And of course, well, it takes a long time to discharge the capacitor with the LEDs. With the light bulbs here, those were almost off instantly because they pulled so much power. Yeah, I think these are 2-watt light bulbs or something like that. Alright, the next step is to remove this plastic piece from that where all the glass panels are inside, and here you can see how the display is all stacked up. Now I have to cut this thing down a little bit because, well, I can show you. If I try and put this thing on here, you will see that there's a little gap down there. Now that's because the LEDs have bases on them, so that you can just drill a 5mm hole and stick them through, and they won't go all the way through. Yeah, now I have to cut off about 1mm or so of this thing, and then they should all fit in there nice and tight. Alright, that has been cut down about 1mm. Now the sides, I left them as high as they are, because those touch against the board and they need to. So, well, I can put it back in and we can reassemble the entire display. Yay! And then continue and reassemble the entire amplifier again. Yeah, it's pretty much almost done. Okay, everything is back in place, the plastic is in there, the board is on there, the LEDs are lined up properly. So well, why not test it out? There's a tuner, there's the CD, phono, and tape. Of course you realize that the tuner is the dimmest one of them all because I just used a bright LED and a super bright one. But yeah, you can really tell how this display now actually works. And that is something that I think is a pretty cool idea, and you see the capacitor takes a lot longer to discharge. So yeah, some of them, well, the green one, it takes forever to discharge, maybe because it uses so little power. All of these LEDs combined together, even if I ran them all at once, would still use less power than one of the light bulbs that was originally installed in this unit. Yeah, think about that. Alright, so I'm going to use the screws that I still have left over to secure as much of the case as I can. And well, since there are a lot of screws missing on this unit and there are the wrong screws installed in all kinds of places, this whole system is based on metric 3, like that. Somebody decided to put these in there. These, I have no clue what exactly. It seems to be still metric 3, but it's a different, oh, it's M4 probably. So yeah, it could be that some of the screw holes in here have been actually damaged by that. But yeah, we'll find that out. Because I really want that front panel to be on here properly. Which, as you can see, well, that looks really nice. It's a lot dimmer than it looks on the camera, but trust me, that does look really nice. Alright, so the amplifier is fully assembled again, as you can tell. Bottom plate and everything is on. Some screws are still missing on this unit, and there's a small plastic piece that goes, well, a metal piece, a small ring that usually goes here, and that is missing as well. Probably just gonna print something that is white and put that there. It's probably the best way to do it. Or just leave it like that, I don't know. But yeah, let's play something. Now, as you can see, all the lights work nicely. They aren't as bright as they show up, it's just the camera here is exposing everything up a little bit. So, let's play some royalty-free music. So, alright, as you can hear, everything is working fine again, no issues with the audio at all. So yeah, it just was bad storage for this thing, and that somebody who didn't really know how to properly maintain this unit did some things to it that weren't really that well. Also, well, these capacitors, they definitely did not belong in there, because they caused issues with the amplifier. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, well, why not? Of course, the other amplifier is going to show everything in different colors on the screen. Let's have a look at that. Alright. There you go. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty nice feature that everything just shows up randomly in terms of colors. And you can also distinguish the units, so none of them is identical. Yay! Well then, thank you for watching and goodbye.